most of these cases, they have been reset today to either take a final plea or to make a decision as to whether they want to move forward and have a trial. The other calendar I have at the same time is what we call the Orca show cause calendar. Most of these cases have been reset. Most of the cases on the show cause calendar have been reset in order for individuals to appear and make sure that a bench warrant does not issue. Some other matters may have been reset in order to do compliance, for example, with diversion or something to that effect. In any event, if you are a defendant who is appearing via Zoom, or if you're appearing in the courtroom, please remember that you have a right to remain silent about the facts and circumstances of your case. If you decide to say anything during the course of this proceeding, whether you are here in person or on Zoom, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. We have attorneys from the Public Defender's Office who will be glad to represent you. You will get appointed counsel, but in order to do so, you must make sure that you fill out the appropriate application with the Fulton County Public Defender's Office. I'm going to start with my final plea calendar. And so if you hear your name called, whether you're in the courtroom or whether you're on Zoom, if you're on Zoom, make sure you unmute and you let me know that you're present. For those of you who are plaintiff, a defendant or an attorney for a defendant, make sure your video is on and that you are currently muted. Okay, on the final plea calendar, position number 1, I have James Dover.
Good afternoon, Judge. That's my case. Is Mr. Dover present? Judge, I attempted to contact him with the number I had, and that number has been disconnected. If we could hold just to see if he appears.
Okay. James Dover. All right. Position number 2, Richard Gates took a plea this morning, so that case is closed. Position 3, Raymond Hayes. Raymond Hayes.
Judge, that's also my case. I expect Mr. Hayes to be present. I anticipate a plea. If you could give me an opportunity to try to contact him, I'll try to raise him.
Okay. I have an add-on over here, Cortez Brown. Cortez Brown.
That's the one that's going to bench trial. It's going to go into that version.
Okay. Is Cortez Brown present? Oh, was it? Okay. Do you need a reset date for compliance? Okay, and what are the conditions?
It's that past the operation 21.
Okay, so I'm going to reset it to January 4th, 2024. And that's going to be at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And it's going to check on the status of his compliance. Ashley Hutchinson.
Judge, that is also my case. We've already completed the plea paperwork, and I expect Ms. Hutchinson to appear over Zoom. Is she present?
Ashley Hutchinson.
Judge, I don't see her right now, but if we could hold for her appearance, that should be
okay. Raymond Jacques. Raymond Jacques.
Present.
Okay, Miss English Hill, let's go ahead and change that number to Raymond Jacques. And your attorney is Brandon Rosenblum.
I'll be here for Mr. Rosenblum.
Okay, Mr. Barber. Okay. And Mr. Barber, how are we proceeding today? This is the final plea calendar.
It's a plea today.
All right. Have you got the paperwork all signed and sent off?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Philip Cavell? Philip Armin Cavell?
Yes, Your Honor, Will Moran here with Mr. Cavell. We do have a negotiated plea that's ready for presentation today.
All right.
The paperwork has already been filled out and submitted.
Excellent. And when it was filled out, did you all forward it to the clerk's office or signed it?
It was electronically paperwork.
DocuSign. Okay.
I just sent it to Miss Smith.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rank, was it?
Moran.
Moran. Okay. As soon as we Get it printed? We're ready to go. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's MORAN?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Arthur Mullenix, attorney Robert Booker.
Hey, good afternoon, Judge Robert Book for Mr. Mullinex. He's present here standing. We anticipate that's gonna be a plea, Judge, but I don't have the plea paperwork. I need the plea paperwork there.
Ms. Githea, would you be able to forward the plea paperwork to Mr. Booker's email as well as to his clients? The plea paperwork is sent by DocuSign, so you would review it with your client, and then if everything goes right, then it's just forwarded to the clerk's office.
So she'll email it to me and to him?
Yes, so I'm assuming she has your email?
He does.
Yes,
Is-
I'll send it to both.
Okay,
Yes. I'll send it to both.
all right, Mr. Booker, we as soon as we get the paperwork, we can proceed with the plea hearing. Thank you.
But just FYI, the one that I sent to Mr. Booker is the one that would need to be completed, because in the rotation, that's the one that'll end up going to the clerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to send it to you and you're going to review it with your client. Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Jasmine Renee Myers, attorney Robert Kenner.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here on behalf of Ms. Myers. I spoke with Ms. Waldrop this morning regarding this case. We just need some time to discuss it a little further. It may be a plea.
How much time do you need?
Well, we just if you can just put us in the breakout, we should be able to work
Okay.
something out.
All right, so this is going to be pre-tried for possible
Yes.
plea, all right? And all right, sir, we're going to hold for that. Where is Ms. Myers?
She's logging on now, but I'm here on her behalf as well.
All right, I see her logging on. Okay, I think that's her, Jasmine M. Okay.
Yes.
Baxter Tommy Ross.
Yes,
What's-
Judge, that's my case. He is present over Zoom and we'll be requesting a jury trial.
All right. Has this case been arraigned? Me a moment. Which one is me?
Thank you.
All right, looks like it was arraigned on May 7th, 2021. We are going to issue a case management order. It's going to be reset for a jury trial, most likely one of the dates in April of 2024.
Understood.
Mr. Ross, you would need to be back in court in person. There won't be any more Zoom appearances for you. If you get a court date, you need to come down to the courthouse. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, keep in communication with your attorney, and we will see you at your trial. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mohammed Sohani. All right, and who's your attorney?
J.R. Robinson, he should be just walking in. He's waiting.
All right, let us know when he's here. Christopher Thomason.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I would like to make my announcement at the end of the calendar. I was hoping to speak with the prosecutor before he took the bench, but I'd love to be able to speak with the prosecutor before.
All right, I'm going to put you down as pre-trying the case, so we'll do it that way. All right.
Your Honor.
Mhm. Okay, I've got the plea paperwork for Raymond Jobs, Philip Cavile, and Ashley Hutchinson. So I'm going to be addressing that very shortly after I just call my show cause calendar. Mr. Robinson?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Apologies for my tardiness.
No, no, you're fine, you're fine.
Stated plea,
A plea?
get
Okay.
the paperwork signed, Judge.
You need to get the paperwork signed, is that what you said? Okay. Have you received the paperwork to be signed?
I did not. I got an email with an offer and I hadn't had a chance. I was working with multiple solicitors on this case, and so
I would just need to get the paperwork signed and.
Okay. Is it your case, Ms. Waldrop?
Yes, I'll handle it today, Judge.
Okay, so Ms. Waldrop is gonna make sure she gets the paperwork to you. And it's probably gonna be on your phone or your laptop, and then you and your client will go over it
Electronically is fine.
electronically and then DocuSign it back.
May I step out with my client now, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you.
She has your, as long as she has your email and whatnot. Okay, show cause calendar. Position number 1, I have Shanice Clemens. Shanice Clemens. James Jurgen, attorney. No notice of conflict, not present. Marquise Cox.
As far, I'm sorry, Your Honor, going back to position number 1, James Jurgen had withdrew and the order was signed. And
Okay,
there's another attorney has not entered an appearance and the state requests a bench warrant.
all right. Marquise Cox, I think Mr. Cox just stood up. All right, and your attorney is Mr. Mozingo?
Keith Wiseman standing. in.
Oh, Ms. Madison, okay,
You could retry this.
certainly. Carlos Arduce,
Mr. Uduse, present. Judge, I have not been able to reach him.
language issue,
No, Judge.
okay,
State request a bench warrant.
alrighty. Asanta Givens, Asanta Givens, I
Chris
see
Toles.
Asanta Givens, Mr. Tolles? Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we are here. I think there might have been a mistake. I had notified the state that I had a conflict that day, so I was not here. My client lives out of state, but she's on the Zoom, and we've always we're getting notice for these court dates.
All right, what would you all like to do today?
Judge, she was offered a plea deal. I would like for her to have a little bit more time to think about that, and
Okay.
one last reset, and maybe one last reach to the prosecutor in a week or so, and maybe we can. But next week we'll have a decision for you at the next calendar.
Next final plea calendar, this case is reset to the next final plea calendar, and that's going to be December 7th at 1:30 p.m. And you and your client must appear in person.
Here in person, okay.
In person.
What on, Ms. Givens?
Yes,
Is that date? I know you're out of state. Is that date going to be good for you?
that's fine.
Okay,
All right.
we'll be there.
See y'all on the 7th of December, 1:30 p.m. Thank you. You're free to go, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Adriana Ivaskiv, Adriana Christina Ivaskiv, Miss,
Yes, Judge.
somebody covering for Mr. Gaither?
Mr. Gaither left us a note, and this person is positions 5, 6, and 7. He has not been able to make contact.
All right. No contact with Mr. Ivaskiv. Okay,
State request a bench warrant.
yes, ma'am. Rachel Johnson,
Yes, Judge, that's my case. Ms. Johnson is currently in DeKalb County Jail. I did send proof of incarceration to Ms. Githia.
all right. Is there an expected release date or is it a bond issue?
Not from what I'm able to see, Judge.
All
She's
right.
been in quite a while.
Going to reset this case to January 4th. Final plea calendar at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Position number 9, Christian Lopez.
Lopez? Yes, Judge. Mr. Lopez is present. We are working towards a resolution in that case, but we need a little bit more time. There are some other issues. If we could get a final plea calendar, that would be great.
Final plea calendar, December 7th at 1:30, same place. We'll see you then, Mr. Lopez. Do you need to talk to your attorney?
I think we're okay. Yeah, we're good,
Okay.
Judge. Thank you.
You're free to go if you want, but you can stay if you want to talk to your attorney. I think he's waiting for you.
Okay, just sit tight. I'll be
Okay.
right with you.
Antoine Taylor.
Yes.
Antoine Taylor,
I apologize for interrupting, Judge. That's going to be my case. Is Mr. Taylor present in court or on the Zoom call? Judge, I have had no contact. The information that I have for Mr. Taylor is quite old, and I have no contact with Mr. Taylor.
All right,
Bench warrant.
all righty. Andre Willis, Mr. Partridge. I would bet 25 cents he's stuck in Judge Glanville's courtroom right now, but you know, I've been known to lose many a bet. But is Andre Willis present?
He is actually incarcerated, Your Honor, and this was supposed to be a plea in absentia.
All right, I'm just gonna hold on that. And you decide what you'd like to announce at that time. But so Mr. Willis is incarcerated. Any objection to a reset to January 4th final plea calendar?
No objection.
24th, 2024, 1:30 p.m. Do you know where?
I don't have it on my notes right now. I have to pull it up.
Okay. Randy Wright.
Judge, Mr. Wright is present. If we could hold so I can speak with him, we'll report back.
Okay. All right, that was it. Is there anyone in the courtroom whose name I did not call? Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yes, Judge, he's my client. I expect him to be here. It should be a plea.
Is that Carlos Aduce?
No, Judge, this is on the final plea calendar. This is Mr. Raymond Hayes.
Oh, there he is. Okay,
Mhm.
got him. Okay, position 3 on the final plea calendar is in the courtroom. All right, and we're going to pre-try that case, you say?
I believe it should be a plea, Judge.
A plea. Okay, so that's going to be for a plea. And Mr. Hayes, your attorney is going to talk to you about taking a plea today. So if you have a seat, she'll be talking to you shortly. Did I not call your name, sir? The gentleman in front?
No, Judge, he thought I was gesturing to him when I asked.
Oh, I see. Is there anybody else in the courtroom whose name I did not call? All right. Anyone on Zoom who's appeared whose name I did not call? Okay, great. So we're going to take a couple of pleas. I understand that prosecutors have to email out a couple of plea paperwork, but we're going to start with Raymond Jacques, position number 5 on the final plea calendar.
And I apologize for interrupting, Judge. I don't have any other cases on the calendars today. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. Ellen, have a great, well, it's only Thursday, so have a good evening.
Thank you, Judge. I'll more than likely see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Jacques is Raymond Jacques. If you please start your video. All right, sir. All right, Mr. Jacques, I know your attorney is Brendan Rosenblum, but today is going to be Michael Barber. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. This is case 21 CR 006460F, State versus Raymond M. Jacques, who was originally accused of driving under the influence of alcohol per se, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, and following too closely from September 4th, 2020 in Fulton County, Georgia. This is going to be a plea hearing. Mr. Jacques, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Michael Barber. For purposes of the plea, may I place you under oath?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Githier, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
For the
And
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
For the DUI alcohol per se, it is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, balance probated, a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction program, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, and 1 victim impact panel. For the DUI alcohol less safe and following too closely, those two will merge. Does the defendant stipulate to the facts, venue, and ID?
We do so stipulate.
Mr. Barber, you've gone over the terms with Mr. Jacques, and is he in agreement with these terms?
Mr. Rosenblum did that, and that is my understanding, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jocks, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take a plea today?
No.
Has it been explained to you, either by Mr. Rosenblum or by Mr. Barber, that in order for me to accept your plea, you have to be willing and voluntarily give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury, to give up your right to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence or the witnesses who may be brought before you, as well as have the state try to prove the original charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
Has it also been explained to you that a DUI conviction could have a impact upon your residency, if applicable, upon your job, upon any other open cases you may have?
Yes.
And you do not have a right to appeal from a plea decision?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of DUI per se?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. You will report to the probation office at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. And that report date will be November 9th, which is next Thursday, before 3 p.m. So make sure that you are at the offices anytime before 3 p.m. next Thursday. While you're in probation, you will pay a $500 fine plus court costs and surcharges. You will pay monthly probation fees. You will complete 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a school and not a church. You will also complete a risk reduction program, submit yourself to an alcohol and drug evaluation with a qualified healthcare provider, and submit yourself to any treatment or counseling at your expense. Probation will also assist you where you will have to attend and observe one victim impact panel. The remaining charges will merge into the sole charge of DUI per se. Mr. Jacques, did you ever fill out a form for probation?
No.
Okay. Mr. Barber, if you could put your email in the chat to Essence Smith. Are you in the?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I put my information.
You're in the chat, Mr. Barber. There should be the litigation manager's Essence Smith, her email right there. And she will email a form for probation, but she's also got the probation address and phone number right there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jacques, if you look at the chat feature on the Zoom, are you familiar with it?
Yes.
All right. You will see the probation office address and phone number there as well. But the form would have to be filled out today so that we can transmit it to probation before your visit.
Okay.
If there are no further questions, that concludes this case. Anything else, Mr. Barber?
No, Judge, I just sent in the chat, I just sent my email to Ms. Smith, direct message.
Okay. Ms. Smith, you got it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, folks, thank you so much. Y'all
Do
are
you
free to
want
go.
me on the line till we complete the form, or just make sure it gets to Ms. Smith?
You, I trust that you will complete the form and email it back to Ms. Smith.
Yes, Your Honor, I will do
You have
that.
never given me a reason to, to think otherwise.
Yes, Your Honor, I appreciate
right.
it.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Have a good day.
State versus Philip Cabell. All right, Mr. Moran and Mr. Cabell, if you'd like to come to the podium right here. And is this Ms. Githia?
Yes, you can give me 1 second.
All right.
Good afternoon again, Your Honor. That's loud.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, this loud on my end. Okay. This is 21 CR 006344F, State versus Philip Armin Kevel. Mr. Kevel is present in the courtroom with his attorney, Mr. Will Moran. And Mr. Kevel, I've advised you of your right to remain silent, and you are represented by counsel. For purposes of this plea hearing, may I place you under oath?
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Other right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Kevel was originally charged with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, hit and run, following too closely, possession of an open alcohol container, and knowingly driving a vehicle on a suspended registration, as well as failure to maintain insurance. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. Is that correct, Mr. Moran?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Githia, which charges are we moving forward?
All except for the last one.
Failure to maintain insurance?
Correct. There will be a null process.
Okay. All right, you may proceed.
Okay. For the DUI alcohol less safe is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, balance probated, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction program, an alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, 1 victim impact panel. For count 2, hit and run, it is a 12 months probation, balance probated with a $300 fine, and it would be concurrent. For count 3, following too closely, it merges. Count 4, possession of open alcohol container, $100 fine. Count 5, knowingly driving motor vehicle on a suspended registration. Oh, I apologize, both of those. Count 5 and 6 will be dismissed.
Okay. And one of them merges, which is the following too closely. Okay. Yeah.
And does the defendant stipulate to the facts, venue, and ID?
Yes, we would stipulate to a factual basis in this case.
Okay, thank you.
And when you say concurrent, is he only required to pay one $300 fine, or is it $300 fine on the 2 separate charges?
$300 fine on each separate charge, but the probation will be concurrent.
Your Honor, my understanding is count 1 has a $300 fine, count 2 has a $300 fine, and count 4, the open container, has a $100 fine for a total of $700.
Okay, so I just want to be sure that we're all on the same page, that the total fine is $700.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and Ms. Moran, you've gone over the terms with your client. Does he accept these terms?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so he'll be pleading guilty to 3 charges. 1 will merge and 2 will be null prost. Is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Kevel, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood what's been going on so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take a plea today?
No.
Has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty today to these 3 charges, that you will be giving up your right to go back to court and have a trial? You will not get a chance to be in front of a judge or a jury to be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that's brought against you, examine witnesses, present any defenses if you choose to do so, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, I am.
It has been explained to you that a DUI conviction will have an impact on your license, will have an impact upon possibly your job, any open cases you may have, upon your residency if applicable,
Yes.
and you do not have a right to file an appeal.
Yes, right.
Are you still moving forward with your plea willingly, voluntarily, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of DUI, alcohol less safe, 1 count of hit and run, and 1 count of possession of an open alcohol container?
Guilty.
Was that a question mark? Or-
No.
Okay.
That was-
All right. On the DUI, I'll accept your plea, and on the DUI, your sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time will be served on probation. For the DUI charge, your conviction, your fine is $300. You will complete 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency, which is not a church and not a school.
Okay.
So you can go to Salvation Army, Goodwill, Animal Rescue, food banks, but not a church and not a school.
Right.
Okay? You will also need to complete a risk reduction class or program. Go to a qualified healthcare provider and submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment or counseling that's required. Probation will also assist you in attending one victim impact panel,
Okay.
which has to be completed. On the hit and run, your probation will be concurrent. That means you serve it at the same time as the other charges, but you have an additional fine of $300. And on the possession of an open alcohol container, the probation is concurrent, but you have an additional fine of $100. Your total fine for the three charges is, three convictions is $700 plus court costs and surcharges. You will report to probation next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Okay.
And you report to probation every month until the remainder of the 12 months is completed.
Okay.
All right.
All right, could you give me that report date for probation one more time, please?
November 9th, 2023, before 3 p.m.
And that'll be like the
And-
9th of every month.
Yes.
You'll discuss that with probation.
Okay.
What is that?
He'll need to scan the QR code and fill out his information to probation.
No problem.
Oh, that's even more efficient. Thank you. All right, Mr. Miranda, concludes the case. Anything else, sir?
Yes, one more request from court, Your Honor. This is Mr. Kevil's first DUI in 10 years. I would request that he be given a certificate of first conviction so that he can potentially attempt to obtain a limited use permit while his license is suspended.
Has he ever had a conviction more than 10 years ago?
He did have a previous DUI more than 10 years ago, yes.
I don't know if DPS will accept it if he's had a lifetime conviction. So it's probably not going to be possible.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
And that does conclude our business with the court. I'll fill this out. Well, do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
Can you scan this QR code so you can fill the conviction formats? Just open your camera.
He needs to complete and he needs to turn in his license if he hasn't already.
Okay, this is on Mr. Cavill. All right, sir. Once you get the form, next case will be Ashley Hutchinson. Were you going to wait on that? The other attorneys who are waiting on the plea paperwork, have you received it?
Yes, got it.
Excellent.
I'm gonna step out of review with them.
That's perfectly fine.
And I sent it to Attorney
I'm waiting
Robinson.
for pre-trial.
Yeah, that's out.
You're waiting to pre-trial. Okay, and that was with Ms. Githier or with Ms. Waldrop?
Not sure which.
I mean, I
What's-
can speak with him since he's in the courtroom. I just sent documentation to Mr. Robinson, so he's signing that with his client.
Judge, actually, our paperwork's already ready,
Oh, okay.
signed, ready to go, but we're waiting in line.
Okay, as soon as I get printed out, I will call your client.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Githier, I think we are just waiting on Ms. Rosenhoover for Ashley Hutchinson. So while I'm doing that, I'm not sure who you're supposed to pre-try the case with. On the show cause calendar, I have positions 2 and 12. And that is with Mr. Wisely. Is that going to be with Ms. Githier?
Whoever,
Well, Mr. Weissman's in the courtroom, so do you want Ms. Waldrop to handle that?
whoever they does.
Oh, no, I was talking about this case, that one. Ms. Wells, you are,
And Judge, just for clarification, I'm handling the bottom half of the calendar and Ms. Githier is handling the top half of the calendars.
of each calendar.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's how it's
I'm
divided.
trying to remember that, okay. Ms. Wells, I think, let me see, you are going to be talking to Ms. Githier.
That one's Mr.
This
Thomas.
is Ms. Lisa Wells for Christopher Thomason.
Ms. Waldrop would talk to her about that one.
You were the bottom half, the top half?
I'm the bottom half. but-
Bottom half, okay. Ms. Wells, Ms. Waldrop is your point person to speak to. All right.
Sign into Zoom to talk to the other prosecutor or?
I'm going to try to figure that one out. Ms. Waldrop, since you were in the courtroom, were you going to talk to
I
him?
can speak with him if he's in the courtroom and he wants to speak with someone.
Oh, he is right behind you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
And which one is that, Mr. Cox?
Mr. Wiseman for, you've got Mr. covering for Mr. Mazinga. Is that correct? Yeah. And that was Marcus Cox, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, is anyone shown up recently? Okay.
Does Ms. Smith have the plea paperwork for Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But Miss Hutchinson hasn't reported in yet, so. We get the paperwork from Ms. Githia?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm ready to proceed with a plea for Mohammed Sohani. Position number 10.
Okay, 1 second.
Judge, where would you like us over here?
Yes, please, at the podium.
You can give me 1 second.
Position 10 on the final plea calendar.
You have the plea paperwork on that?
Yes, I do.
I'm just trying to pull it up. I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
Is the QR code up there for him?
Yeah, right now.
Did that plea paperwork come from me, Your Honor? I'm not seeing it. Is that?
Can you forward the paperwork to Ms. Githia, please? We're forwarding it to you from Ms. Smith.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I didn't have it up available.
Yeah, anyone can send it to Ms. Githia since you're pre-trying. Did you just want me to? Essence? Did you? Do you have it, Ms. Githia?
Not yet.
You might have seen. I didn't realize the email was still snail.
And Judge, we just have one house call matter. Mr. Sohani would like to turn himself in on the 25th and 26th to complete the 48 hours. State didn't object to that. Just want to make sure Your Honor was aware of that.
What date?
25th and 26th.
It's a Saturday and Sunday,
All right.
so that doesn't affect his employment, Judge.
Yeah, he probably have to report, yeah, he probably have to report before 9 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
And then they will release him on Sunday evening.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Send it again,
Okay, I have it now, Your Honor.
You have it?
Yes.
Okay. So one housekeeping matter is that it requires additional 48 hours at the Fulton County Jail, and the request is to book in on November 25th, 2023, and be discharged 48 hours later.
Okay, no objection.
All right, this is case number 21 CR 007-166F. State versus Mohammed Hamza Sohani, accused of DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, reckless driving, and failure to have the vehicle being driven on the right side of the roadway. Mr. Sohani, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
And for purposes of this plea hearing, may I place you under oath?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so this is going to be a negotiated plea. Ms. Githia is our prosecutor. Ms. Githia, what is the plea offer for the one count of DUI less safe?
It is 12 months to serve 72 hours, credit for time served 24 hours to serve the remaining 48 hours, a $600 fine, 240 hours of community service, a risk reduction program to do the alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, one victim impact panel, and the ignition interlock. The remaining charges will merge.
Is he permitted to drive because his license is going to be suspended?
Yes, Judge. In fact, he has already had the interlock device put in place, and we've submitted that paperwork to the court. But obviously, this will be his suspended license. He understands that, Judge.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Robinson, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
I do so, yes, Your Honor.
All right, and does your client accept the terms as you've explained it to him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Sohani, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No, ma'am.
Because otherwise you do have a right to a trial before a judge or a jury. You do have the right to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, examine witnesses, present any defenses or mitigating factors if you choose to do so, and have the prosecution try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing so willingly, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand, or it's been explained to you, that it could have an impact, as you know, on your license, on any possible job or professional licenses you may have, any open cases you may have, your residency, if applicable. And with those explanations, are you still willing to move forward with your
Yes,
plea?
ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of DUI less safe?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 72 hours at the Fulton County Jail. I'm going to give you credit for 24 hours, so you have 48 more hours to complete. Without any objection from the state, you will report to the Fulton County Jail on November 25th, 2023, and you would complete the 48 hours as the sheriff of Fulton County will administer that time and discharge you accordingly. All right? You will still need to report to probation next Thursday, which is November 9th, before 3 p.m. And that's located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While on probation, you will pay a $600 fine plus court costs and surcharges. You will use the remainder of the 12 months to complete 240 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a school and not a religious organization. So no church, no mosque, no temple, whatever organization. But you can do it at any 501c, otherwise any other 501c nonprofit agency. You will need to complete a risk reduction program, submit yourself to an alcohol and drug evaluation with a qualified healthcare provider, and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. Complete a victim impact panel, and if you are granted your license reinstated during the year, then you must install an ignition interlock device on your vehicle. I don't think that's possible.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think you had to have it before you took the plea. So right now you can't drive.
Right.
Till your license is reinstated. Do you have any questions about the sentence?
No, ma'am.
All right. Failure to report to the Fulton County Jail on November 25th will result in a probation warrant being issued, and which means that your probation could be revoked, requiring you to spend the rest of the 12 months in jail, right? All right, that completes Mr. Robinson or Mr. Suhani, if you'd like to scan that little QR code. Is that what you're gonna ask them?
The interlocking, we had some,
Yep. Judge, we provided paperwork so that he gets credit for having the interlock device already installed and for completing the DUI risk reduction.
Okay,
to whom? Is that-
Submitted to Ms. Waldrop, and I believe Ms. Waldrop may have submitted it to the court, the 2 documents. I'm happy to forward them to you as well.
That information will be forwarded to probation.
That's fine.
And it will be.
He'll get
worked
credit
out
for it.
between you
That's
and-
fine. He's got copies. We could do that.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
information.
And Mr. Robinson, on your email, there wasn't an attachment. I didn't get anything.
Understood. I sent it to you second time. That's fine. We can give it to the probation office. That works just fine.
Well, send it to me and then I'll send it all to probation. At that point, they'll make sure that all that is taken care of.
Judge, he's already set up for probation, and I believe that's it.
excellent. Best of luck.
Thank you,
Take care.
Judge.
You too. Take care. Have you surrendered the license by any chance?
Yeah.
Yes, Judge, we did so
Okay,
to the officer.
Thank you.
understood. Thank you. Arthur Mullenix, Mr. Booker. Ms. Capelia, this is, I can't remember the position number, sorry. I think it was 7. Yeah. So it's the bottom half of the final plea calendar, which will be Ms. Waldrop.
Yes, Your Honor.
You ready for it?
Yes.
I-
I have an announcement on condition number 11.
Okay,
Your Honor, we are requesting that case be further noted to the jury trial calendar. There is some information that has been provided to the state, that the state needs to confirm and verify before we move forward, so I think that'll give them some time to do that.
okay.
I couldn't hear what Ms. Waldrop said, but
You want to repeat?
I apologize. I'm asking that position number 11 on the final plea calendar be further notice to the jury trial calendar. Defense counsel has provided some information that the state needs to confirm before moving forward, and that'll give us enough time to do that.
okay.
Give me a moment, please. Right. Ms. Wells, your client filed a waiver, or someone filed a waiver of arraignment back on December 26, 2019.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will issue a case management order, and the case will be further notice for a jury trial, and the date will be sometime in April of 2024. So y'all are free to go, and y'all will get a copy of the order. Thank you.
Judge, may I make 2 quick announcements before we start this next plea, or would you like to proceed with that first?
I don't know, it's Mr. Booker looking at you with daggers in his eyes, okay.
Just to get some people out of the courtroom, Judge. On the show cause calendar, position number 12, Mr. Randy White. He's here in person. We have spoken. This is the first time he and I have met, and we would ask for a final
I'm
plea.
sorry, I
calendar.
could catch the name. What's the name of the defendant?
Randy White. Right.
Right, oh, I got him as present.
He is, Judge.
Okay, and what's the first time you met him, and what do you need?
Final plea calendar, please.
Okay. December 7th, 1:30 PM
That's great, Judge.
in person, okay?
Thank you. And then last announcement, Judge, back to the final plea calendar.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright, what I meant was, I'll see you on the 7th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Position number 3 on the final plea calendar, Mr. Raymond Hayes. I've spoken with him and with the state. We are asking for another final plea calendar, so Mr. Hayes has an opportunity to start those courses. Having his license right now is very important to childcare. And so he wants to try to knock out as many of the DUI conditions as he can, Judge. I told Ms. Githia our reason for asking for an extension. I don't believe she opposes, but That's our reason, Judge. Just very candidly, we would like a little bit more time.
That's fine.
No, there's no objection.
December 7th is this is the final reset you see here?
He is here, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hayes, this is a final reset to December 7th at 1:30 PM. Same place. All right?
Thank
At
you.
that time, you all have to be prepared to go forward with the plea unless you all want a trial. If you all want a trial, let me know now.
We do not.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Judge.
see you then. Thank you. All right, Mr. Arthur Mullenix is position number 7 on our final plea calendar. Case number 21 CR 007-230F. Mr. Mullenix has been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Mr. Booker. Mr. Mullenix, for purposes of the plea, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Mullenix was originally accused of driving under the influence of alcohol per se, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, reckless driving, speeding, operating a vehicle in the wrong way on a one-way street, and a basic rules violation, too fast for conditions. From these 6 charges, the parties have negotiated a plea, and so I just want to make sure which charges are we going to move forward. So I think the state is only going to move forward with the DUI per se,
That's correct, Your Honor.
Correct.
and the remaining charges are going to be null pros.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
Okay, Ms. Githia, what are the terms for the DUI per se?
12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance probated, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, to complete the risk reduction program, and attend 1 victim impact panel. Does the defense stipulate to the facts, venue, and ID?
Yes, we do.
And Mr. Booker, your clients agreed to the terms as you discussed it with him?
Yes, Your Honor, he has.
Right. Is this a first lifetime DUI conviction?
It is, Your Honor.
And is he asking for an affidavit of first conviction?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
All right. Mr. Mullenix, have you consumed any alcohol or medication recently?
No, Your Honor, I've been free of all mind altering substance since February 2nd of 2020.
No, it's good. And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, Your Honor,
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
definitely.
And has anybody forced you, induced you to take this plea in lieu of a trial?
No, Your Honor.
Because you understand you do have a right to a trial. You can confront your accuser, challenge evidence brought against you, examine witnesses, present defenses or mitigating factors, as well as have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. But if you decide to take this plea, you are giving up these rights and also the right to file an appeal. Are you willing to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you doing so freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to 1 count of DUI alcohol per se?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours. You report to probation to serve out the rest of the time. And your first report date will be November 9th, next Thursday, before 3 p.m. The probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. We have a QR code there where we are getting really fancy and IT now. So you can scan that and fill out the form and then send the form out and we send it off to probation. While you're on probation, you will pay a $300 fine plus court costs and surcharges. Complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a school and not a church. Submit yourself to a healthcare provider for an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment if required. A risk reduction program must be completed as well as attending 1 victim impact panel. As this is your first lifetime DUI and hopefully your last, I will grant you an affidavit of first conviction. You would need to surrender your driver's license to our Madam Clerk here, and then we will give you the affidavit for you to have a limited driving permit. That permit only allows you for necessary driving, like to work, home, medical care, groceries. I think church is also considered necessity, so I think that's included as well.
He had a question about that, Judge, while you're on that. He's been doing AA meetings for the last 3 to 4 years. He's actually, since the time of his arrest, he's still doing it now. He's actually an area manager.
Yeah,
An area manager at Love's Truck Stops. He worked for Quick Trip as an area manager for a while now. He's doing this. So he's really changed his life around. He just wanted to make sure he would still be able to go to AA meetings with the limited permit. I told him I don't know. Not sure the court knows that.
I'll put in the order.
Okay, he would appreciate that.
Yeah, so once granted limited permit, he's permitted, well, that's considered a medical necessity
Also true.
anyways. So counseling, treatment, those are all considered medical necessities. But I'll put in the order in the disposition form as well as in the plea sheet.
Okay, I have one
Anything
more
else?
question.
Yeah.
He lives in Banks County. That's about 60 to 70 miles north of here.
63 miles.
Is there any chance the court would consider allowing him to report by phone or mail at that point? In
Ms.
this?
Githier, any objection to telephonic reporting except for the first visit?
No objection.
All right, first visit has to be in person, and then after that, I'll permit telephonic reporting.
Thank you,
So
Judge.
let me write down everything I just agreed to.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Judge.
Ms. Kitty sent the no prosper.
I'm sending it right now.
All right, I indicated affidavit of first conviction can drive to AA meetings with LP. Hopefully they understand that's limited permit, and telephonic reporting for probation except first visit.
Thank you, Judge.
Did I get everything?
You did, Your Honor. Thank you. Once he's completed this and submitted the license, may we be excused?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Judge.
Probation's reporting every month, and you have to pay probation fees as well, so
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yes, Your Honor. I've completed everything that the court has asked except for the victim's
That
panel.
panel? Okay, in that case, make sure you have the letter from the community service agency that has the letterhead and the supervisor signature. You have your certificates, you have your alcohol and drug evaluation form.
It automatically.
Yeah. So if you have those things, you just need to give it to probation and they will just check it off the list.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right?
So
Thank
he's
you.
self-admitted to an inpatient treatment facility after this, so he's been on top of it, Judge.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I applaud you on your journey. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Booker.
Thanks.
And now we are ready for a plea in position number 2 on the show cause calendar.
Okay.
Marquez Collins.
And Ms. Rosenberg, I see your client Ashley Hutchinson is present as well. So are we moving forward with the plea as well?
We are.
Okay. So this is a show cause calendar with position number 2. And Ms. Watson, if you just give me a moment, y'all are faster than the printer, so just need to get a printout, so. All right, and let me see. Essence, this is the form and the envelope for Mr. Booker's client, Mr. Mullenix.
Yeah, that's right. Usually if you play it. It's 30. I probably won't do 30, but we're gonna ask. 14.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, so you need to fill this out.
Yeah.
Who's representing Jasmine Myers?
Tony Kinner?
Oh, right. Mr. Kendall, have you spoken to Ms. Githia or Ms. Waldron?
Oh, Your Honor, you're supposed to put us in a breakout. No one put us in a breakout.
Who's-
I'm sorry, Miss Waldron and I spoke this morning, but we didn't finish the conversation. In terms of
How do you want to
plea.
do this, Ms. Waldron? You want to step outside? I've
Judge?
I've got two pleas right now, Ashley Hutchinson and Mr. Cox. Are you
Yes, I can step outside and speak with Mr. Kinner.
okay?
Miss Waldron, you still have my cell, right?
Yes, it's in my email.
Do you want to go in a breakout or do you want to just talk on the cell phone?
I'll just speak with him on the phone.
Okay, she'll call you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have State versus Marquez Cox, case number 22 CR 007-389. Mr. Cox is present in the courtroom with his attorney, Mr. Wiseman.
I'm sorry, could someone please forward me those plea documents? If Ms. Waldrop has stepped out, I can handle it for her.
Marquez Cox?
Hold on.
Oh, no, Ms. Waldrop is going to manage it.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
So, as I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Mr. Wiseman who's standing in for Mr. Mozengo. Is that right? Okay. Mr. Cox, have you been advised of your right to remain silent? And you're going to be represented by Mr. Wiseman for purposes of this plea hearing.
Yes.
As this is a negotiated plea, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cox was originally accused of driving in circular or zigzag course, otherwise known as lane drag, reckless driving, and operating a vehicle with an expired tag or unregistered vehicle. Ms. Waldrop, what is the plea offer for the one count of lane drag?
Yes, Your Honor. So the negotiated sentence on the lane drags is for 10 days in jail suspended upon payment of a $500 fine. The reckless driving will merge and the state will tender a null pros on the expired tag charge.
Mr. Weissman, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for lane drag?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, and does he accept the terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Just need as much time to pay as possible.
All right. For the, sorry, what's that?
I'll let you finish but if he's gonna have time to pay,
He'll be on probation.
he'll be on.
He'll be on probation to pay the fine.
If he's not on probation, how much time would he have?
1 week.
Can you do it in a week or?
Yeah, let's do a week.
Okay.
Well, it works perfectly as 1 week. If you pay it by next Thursday, then you don't have to report to probation. Otherwise, you have to go to jail.
I mean,
Would you rather do probation in case?
Maybe I'm reading this wrong.
Nah, we
10 days in jail, suspended upon payment of $500 fine. And Mr. Wiseman knows I always give folks less than 1 week to pay a fine.
Okay. He says he can do it within a week.
Okay. So are we moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Cox, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No,
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
yes,
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea offer today?
no,
Are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
yes,
And has it been explained to you that in lieu of going to trial and exercising a constitutional right, that excuse me, let me rephrase that. That if I decide to accept this plea, that you will be giving up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not have an opportunity to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state try to prove the original charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
yes,
How do you plead to one count of laying drag?
guilty.
Your sentence for that is going to be 10 days in jail, suspended upon payment of your $500 fine before 5 p.m. on November 9th, 2023.
Okay.
Do you have a phone? You could take a picture of that. That's how you pay. Or you can pay it in person, but also with some stuff.
Okay. If you can't pay the fine, then it's just a short trip to the Fulton County Rice Street Jail. Just let them know you're there to report for 5-10 days.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Wiseman?
No, that's it. Thank you. I
Right.
appreciate it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Ms. Githia, will you be handling the Ashley Hutchinson case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Rosenhuber, she with us? I lose one person or another. There, okay. No problem. I was wondering, would you like to take Ms. Hutchinson's plea?
I do, and briefly, Judge, Miss, and please. Miss Vasquez is on the show cause calendar, all 3 positions. She's
here?
She is here.
Oh, thank goodness.
If we could get a status calendar, I got updated contact information for her and I'll pass that along to Mr. Gaither.
In a moment, but
Sure.
first let me address this plea. She'll need to have a
Of
seat.
course. Okay, no problem, Judge.
I didn't need to fill that in. I can get it if I need to.
Yes.
Put the
data.
Okay.
I'm trying to respond to this.
Okay, all right.
She'll make a copy.
No.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. No worries, I'm sorry.
You got me.
You don't need the original when it comes back. Put it right, oh, yeah.
Okay, we are on the final plea calendar, position number 4, State versus Ashley Hutchinson, case number 17 CR 010280F. Ms. Hutchinson is present via Zoom, and her attorney, Ms. Sarah Rosenhuber, is present in the courtroom in room G33. Ms. Hutchinson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Sarah Rosenhuber is your appointed counsel. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. So for purposes of the plea, please unmute your screen, Ms. Hutchinson. And raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Githia, what are the terms for the one charge of battery, family violence from August 20th, 2016?
It is 12 months probation to continue and complete treatment with Fulton County Superior Court Accountability Court Behavioral Treatment Court Program that Ms. Hutchinson entered on November 2nd, 2022. And once the treatment is completed, the state has no objection to termination of probation.
All right. And so just as logistics, she'll be reporting to probation to make sure that she continues to report to accountability court, or is
Correct.
she?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Gutierrez.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say that's correct.
Okay. So, and then once she completes the accountability court program, then she needs to show proof to probation that she's completed the program in order for probation to terminate.
Correct.
Right? Ms. Rosenhuber, is that your understanding?
That is my understanding, Judge. I have spoken with Ms. Hutchinson, and physically reporting in person is going to be a hardship since she does not have her own transportation. We would ask the court to allow it to be phone-in reporting. Otherwise, if the court would like to make it completely non-reporting since she will be supervised, we would ask for that, but that's not what we negotiated.
That is not what you negotiated?
No, we negotiated, I believe, where she would be expected to, at the very least, like phone in report while she's doing the accountability court. But if the court wants to.
Well, because she's going to be reporting to let them know that she's got accountability court and then to lay out the plan with probation, would it be a huge imposition to do a first-time in-person visit?
I don't believe so, Judge. Miss Hutchinson, will you be able to get down to probation just to get started, but after that, have it be phone in?
That's fine.
Okay.
But where's the location?
It is next door to the courthouse at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Mm. It's not, it's the courthouse before you get to the other courthouse? On Pryor?
Well, yeah, Pryor connects into Mitchell.
Okay, okay. I think I know where you're talking about. Mm.
And that address is at the top of the probation sheet that I emailed to you, Miss Hutchinson. So you have that address and phone number.
Okay. You said you're gonna email that to me?
I have already.
Okay.
All right. And once the accountability program is completed satisfactorily, then you just need to report to probation that the program is completed and your probation will terminate.
Okay.
All right. So as long as we're all on the same page about the logistics of it, Ms. Rosenhuber, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for this case?
I do.
Ms. Hutchinson, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood everything that's been going on so far in your case?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you to take this plea offer today?
No, ma'am.
And has anybody told you that if you decide, as your attorney explained to you, that if you decide to plead guilty to this charge, battery, family violence, that it will go on your record, and then if you are ever arrested for a similar offense, it will automatically be a felony charge?
Yes, I was explaining that.
Okay. And has it been explained to you that if you plead guilty to this charge today, that you would have to give up your right to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury to be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that would be brought against you, and have the state try to, thank you, and have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Are you entering this guilty plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How do you plead to one count of battery, family violence?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months probation. Your first visit to probation must be next week, Thursday, November 9th, 2023, before 3 p.m. That
Okay.
office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. I believe your attorney has emailed you the form and the address and the phone numbers at the top. You just need to make sure that you put down the date and the time, which is next Thursday, November 9th, before 3 p.m.
Okay.
You will continue with the Fulton County Superior Court Accountability Court Behavioral Treatment Program. And when you report to probation, you will let them know that you are continuing with that program. And every month that then after your first visit, after that, you just have to call it in. You understand?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
So from your second probation visit onwards, they're all going to be telephonic reporting.
Okay.
Once you have completed the program with the Superior Court Accountability Court, you need to get proof of completion and bring that to your probation officer, and then your probation will terminate.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, that concludes this case then. Thank you. You're free to
Thank
go.
you. All right. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kenner, anything to report?
Yes, Your Honor, we weren't able to work out a resolution on this case, so I guess it has to be put down for the next court date or so, or for trial. I also want to note for the record, and at least have the prosecutor note for the record that this case had come up once before on a motion to suppress the DUI. And after reviewing the motion to suppress, Ms. Waldrop had agreed to dismiss the DUI in its entirety. So the only remaining, I believe, counts are, I think, the was it running the red light, reckless driving, and distracted driver. But I just wanted to note that on the file because I've worked with 3 or 4 different prosecutors, and each of them have not known about none of them have known about the agreement that Ms. Waldrop and I entered into before. And I just want to make sure that the file is noted, just in case we go to trial or this case called again and there's another prosecutor and I've got to deal with that issue again. And then they say, well, it's not in the file.
Well, you have to deal with that issue today. So the motions hearing was on August 19th, 2021.
Correct.
Then the case got transferred to the Orca calendars. There was a status conference on September 7th. And then it was reset for a final plea by Judge Morrow. And nowhere is there a null pros order.
Well, I know. So that's why I want to deal with that now. So I won't have that
Okay,
issue
let's see.
later on.
Your Honor, this case originated in, I believe, Judge Dixon's courtroom when I was assigned there. This case came up on a motions calendar. I had an opportunity to review the case as well as the video with the supervisor assigned to that courtroom. And we determined that we could not proceed on the DUI. And so we indicated to Mr. Kenner that that charge would be, that we would not be able to proceed on that charge. He did withdraw his motion. And so we intend to proceed on the other remaining charges, which are reckless driving, failure to obey, as well as distracted driving. Provided, I discussed an offer with Mr. Kenner today about pleading to those charges because we had not gotten that far in Judge Dixon's courtroom with regard to terms and everything. That was rejected. So the defendant has indicated that she's not interested in pleading to the charge of reckless driving. And so that's where we are. That's why it'll need to be set down for a jury trial.
Okay.
I just wanted to note the file. I want to make sure that the file is noted that the DUI is gone. We're not dealing with that because I don't want to have to deal with that issue again with another prosecutor.
Ms. Waldrop, will you be able to submit a null pros on the
We'll
one
notate
count?
it in our system, Judge. And when this case appears on the April jury trial calendar, we will be going forward on the charges that I just indicated.
Well, I'm gonna make a note on the file. The state has
I am,
decided to
I
null
am as
pros.
well, Judge.
Okay. I'm not sure why the state won't give me a null pros order, but it's gonna be noted on the file that, the one count of DUI from November 15th, 2019 is, is being reported as null pros by the state.
Yes, ma'am. As long as it's documented, I'm good. Because again, I've dealt with different prosecutors and they always say, well, they don't know anything about that. So I don't want to have to battle with that again.
All right, so let me see now. So it's reckless driving, failure to obey, and distracted driving.
Yes.
What
Correct.
was the plea offer on the reckless driving?
Your Honor, it was a plea offer of a enhanced fine, as well as community service, risk reduction, ADET, and a victim impact panel.
ADET and victim impact panel, okay?
Yes.
No risk reduction?
No, Your Honor, I originally did offer risk reduction. I attempted to negotiate with Attorney Kenner just now in the hallway, and it didn't get any further because the defendant does not want to plead a reckless driving.
And what about the failure to obey and the distracted driving?
Your Honor, we did not get to that. I did offer to potentially merge those counts, but that was again rejected by the defendant.
Okay. And Mr. Kenner, what is the situation?
Well, I mean, the state is asked, this is not a reckless driving case. So the state is asking for the same type of terms and conditions were this a DUI case. And so because of that, I mean, we weren't able to bridge that gap. I had spoken with another prosecutor, Jacobs, something I can't remember his name, and he and I talked about something totally different, a different type of plea. I don't know if he noted it in the file either, and that's just been the issue because I'll talk to one prosecutor and then I get another one and they say, well, I don't know anything about it. But he and I never talked about doing a reckless or having a hefty fine and doing all those other conditions. I explained that to Miss Waters this morning, and she said that maybe he didn't get it approved or something. I don't know, but it's just that conversation is not in the file.
This really all is just fluff to me because right now I'm just
understand.
going with what's on the file. And on the file
Right.
right now, she's got a DUI charge pending against her. So until we put the word null pros on this file, she's got 4 charges pending against her. Okay? So the
Well, then-
other issue I'm going to do is the case has already been arraigned, and so there's already been a waiver filed. So this case is ready for trial. My next question is, do you all want a bench trial or do you want a jury trial?
Oh, it would be a jury trial, young.
Okay, so I am going to generate a case management order today. The case is going to be reset for a jury trial, and that will be in April of 2024. So I'm not sure which calendar will be published, but it will be in one of the April jury trial calendars. And the charges that will move forward for trial is reckless driving, failure to obey traffic signs, signals, and markings, and distracted driving, violation of the Georgia hands-free law.
And Your Honor, will the court be able to sua sponte dismiss the DUI based on the representation
Nope,
of the state?
the only representation I have is that the state has made an announcement of an intent to null pros. So that's all I'm going to put down on the file. I cannot twist their arm and make them null pros, and I don't have the evidentiary grounds to dismiss the charge. I've never seen the video.
I understand, but I'm saying their representation is that they're not going forward. So I mean, and we're relying on that. I relied on that based on the fact that I withdrew my motion to suppress.
Mr.
So that's an
Kenner,
agreement.
that's the only assurance I can give you. I cannot give you a 100% guarantee wrapped in a candy roll that they're not going to pursue the DUI charge.
Well, okay, well they can't because there's an agreement and I withdrew my motion. That's why I put it on the record. So that's why we'll deal with that if we have to later on.
Okay, sounds good. See y'all at trial in April. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Rosenhuber, now let's go to Ms. That was on my show cause calendar.
Yes, Judge, she has positioned.
She needs to come and stand at the podium. And she can stand with you or without you. All right, Miss Adriana Christina Ivaskiev, you're represented by Attorney Frank Gaither. Miss Rosenhuber is here to help cover because he's out today. You have 3 cases from October 11th, 2020, charged with battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. And that was from in case 20 CR 5010C. You got a second case, September 25th, 2020, in which you were accused of driving under the influence of drugs, less safe, obstruction of an intersection, and failure to keep drugs in its original container from September 25th, 2020. And now you've got a third case from this year, April 4th, 2023, charged with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Your case was set on the show cause calendar because we didn't know where you were the last time. We had quite a few return to senders. Your address was not updated. So the reason I'm asking you to stand there is because this calendar begins at 1:30.
Ma'am.
And you walked in almost an hour later.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm inclined to grant a bench warrant just to make sure you show up in court while in jail. So tell me why you were late.
My license is suspended and I was relying on a friend to take me and I couldn't, so I had to walk to the bus stop, to the MARTA bus stop. And then I took the train here once I got on the bus, and then when I got to the courtroom, I couldn't find the actual courtroom because they changed everything. My paper said G33 and I was a little confused. I've been here before, but I wasn't sure. I couldn't find the courtroom, so I was running around the courtroom asking many different people here, and eventually somebody led me.
All right. I find the explanation plausible, but you've got 3 open cases. I think you need to take this a lot more seriously and try to get the roadmap of this place because you cannot afford to be late. We've had quite a few cases over here. People show up on time. There are people who don't have a car, people who don't have a license, and so forth. But you have 3 open cases, and I'm going to take this very seriously. And if it's required that I put you in jail just to make sure you show up, I'll do that because that's what the prosecutor was asking when you didn't announce present. All right?
I'm sorry.
You want to, so she's got these 3 open cases, and what's the issue, Ms. Rosenhuber?
Mr. Gaither has not had an opportunity to speak with her yet. This was a transferred case, so it's brand new to him. I don't believe they've had a chance to go over discovery with one another. And so I would hate to put them on a final plea calendar before they've had an opportunity to make sure they have everything on all 3 cases. So we'd ask for a status.
She's had quite a few this year. 1, 2. I don't know whether this is a 3rd or 4th reset.
I'm only representing more from Mr. Gaither's point of view, but I understand, Judge.
A reset is December 7th. It's going to be for a final plea calendar, 1:30 p.m. Okay?
I will be.
You are going to be here at 1:29 p.m.
Yes, Judge.
And your attorney is Frank Gaither. Ms. Rosenhuber is going to give you all the information when he's back in the office. You need to talk to him and have a serious meeting with him about these 3 cases.
Yes, Judge.
You all either decide to resolve it or go to trial. But either way, my concern is that I don't want you to be racking up more cases. All right, we'll see you December 7th, 1:30 p.m. here. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Final plea. All right, folks, we are going to just go over the calendar, please. I don't believe probably things. Okay, on my final plea calendar, Position number 1 is James Dover. Mr. Dover did not appear.
That's correct, Judge.
Bench warrant.
All right, it's going to be a $3,000 surety bond. On position number 2, Richard Gates was a plea. Position 3, Raymond Hayes is reset December 7th, final plea calendar. The add-on Cortez Brown is reset to January 4th, 2024 for the status of compliance with diversion. Position 4, Ashley Hutchinson was a plea. Position 5, Ward Sharps was a plea. Position 6, Kebbell was a plea. Position 7, Mullenix was a plea. Position 8, Myers is going to be reset for a jury trial in April 2024. Position 9 is going to be reset for a jury trial in April 2024. Position 10, Suhani was a plea. Position 11, Thomason is reset to April 2024 for a jury trial. On the show cause calendar, position number 1, Shanice Clemens did not appear.
State requested bench warrant.
All right. On the DUI, it's going to be $1,000. On the remaining charges, it's going to be $500 each. That's going to be 1,000, 2,000. That's total of $3,000 surety bond. It's a bench warrant. Position 2, Marquez Cox was a plea. Position 3, Carlos Erduce. Any announcements?
No, Judge, I still have not been able to make contact.
All right.
Bench warrant.
All right. It's going to be a $1,500 surety bond on the bench warrant. 1,000 on the battery, 500 on the simple assault. Let's see. Position 4, Asante Givens is reset to the final plea calendar December 7th in person, 1:30. Position 5, 6, and 7 are reset to, you showed up, December 7th at 1:30 p.m. final plea calendar. Position 8, Johnson is reset to January 4th final plea calendar due to her incarceration at the cab. Position 9, Kristen Lopez is reset to the final plea calendar December 7th at 1:30. Position 10, Antoine Taylor, represented by Miss Helen, did not appear. Miss Helen appeared, not Mr. Taylor.
Bench warrant.
Okay, bond is set at $1,000 surety bond. It's a bench warrant. Position 11, Andre Willis is currently incarcerated. So the case is reset to January 4th, final plea calendar at 1:30. Position 12, Randy Wright is reset to the final plea calendar December 7th at 1:30. Did I miss out anything?
I don't believe so.
No. All right, everyone, thank you very much. You all have a great afternoon. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.